Okay, now maybe I'm just a rarity in that maybe I'm just a product of exceptionally good genetics or something. But I mean, I'm almost 50 years old, and I still haven't, I still don't need glasses. I still feel good every day, all day long, right? I mean, I enjoy life. I have always enjoyed life. I've never had a whole lot of money, but I've always had a really good time. I have enjoyed every aspect of my life. My children enjoy being alive. This is one of those things that procreates. Okay, the feeling that we get when I am helping somebody is infinitely better than when I have screwed somebody over. When I screw somebody over, I feel completely shitty about it, and I stop doing it. These are natural things. I don't understand why there should be a criminality, as you put it, in having children. Now, giving value to that which is rare. I understand that this is a human tendency, and that maybe we shouldn't have quite so many children if we can't take care of them properly. Maybe if we should only have children or pets or whatever that we can take care of properly and nurture and encourage and promote something better. This is where I feel. I mean, I agreed with your initial statement, but I think on every other level, you and I are going to be discordant.
Well, yeah,
we'll go back to Gary and then concordance. Gary first.
It's a progressive argument. You can start with just caring about things, and that's just fine with me. Any sentience you care for is a positive thing. I'm just saying the end game logic is the visualization of the game, the chessboard, the every organism with its teeth that are made for chomping, the attrition rate of the young. And the bottom line is I could make the same. I could just say Fukushima worked for 40 years wonderfully. Okay, so yeah, you can't count that one time everything went wrong. So it's really nice for you to say you're happy and your kids are happy. Well, I'm not happy, okay? I'd like to go back in time and punch my mother in the vagina so I could be aborted, because I think this place is disgusting. I think the human race is disgusting. I think the whole fucking carnage mechanism is disgusting. It's vile. It's grotesque. 10 lion cubs for every one lion that gets to maturity. I mean, the attrition is obscene and disgusting, all right? I find it insufferable every day of my life. So fine, okay. I'm the Fukushima.
Can we go to concordance,
what I'm asking
Gary?
you to do is balance that equation. All right, you justify to me why you have a right to say I feel good about it, so I'm going to invest in it. But you're investing. I'm the one you're going to pull the straw for. I'm the one that gets stuck with the straw.
Okay, we're going to go to concordance, Gary. Oh, and just before I do come to you, concordance, it looks as if we're being featured. So if you are watching us from outside, so to speak, do come and join us. You're watching the Magic Sandwich Show, a live call-in show where pretty much any topics are discussed. So do come and join us. Concordance.
I think this is the inevitable conclusion that you come to if you have an ultimately reductionist viewpoint. If you break everything down to the molecules and the genes, then you're missing part of the picture. You're focusing on the fact that the painting is just a bunch of paint, right? That there's more to it than just the suffering. That the pattern itself is interesting. The pattern itself is ultimately creative, Gary. We're ultimately creating through these horrible processes.
Gary, you will be allowed an opportunity to respond. Please let concordance finish.
If you boil all of society down to this guy killed that guy, if you boil all of art down to people making pretty pictures, if you boil it all down, you strip away what actually is meaningful about the scenario. And that is all of the emergent properties of these little tiny bits. Each of the little tiny bits is by itself not terribly interesting. If you look at the Olympics, you say, every year some guy wins, every guy's, 20 people lose. 400 people are left at home thinking they could have done it. But the exceptionalism of those gold medal winners, the striving through suffering is something that I personally can admire, even if I'm not the person taking the Nobel Prize. I'm not the person winning the gold medal. I can admire the striving towards, even if I'm not part of the successful cadre of truly elite that are ultimately going to grasp that ultimate utility, that ultimate reward.
You just basically explained to me why you like big breasts. Oh, you're not making a rational argument for why life succeeds. You're just basically saying that my heroin, when I get off on my heroin, it's really super cool. It's such a great experience that it's worth 1,000,000 dead cats. It's worth 1,000,000 this or 1,000,000. I'll write it all off because my glory moment is so spectacular. And I'm just going to argue I see none of that. I see no potential in that, okay? I'm not a person that hasn't...
Okay, great. I think we've reached the impasse of irreconcilable differences, Gary. If you really don't want to actually, if you really don't think that society's promoting themselves as a good thing, I wish you good luck with it, okay?
But what does that mean? Okay, fine. You're somehow saying I don't even get what William Lane Craig would get, which would be an argument. Would you say that to William Lane Craig? We just disagree. Let's not talk anymore. No, you wouldn't. So why are you doing it to me?
I don't think there's any... Gary, one moment. I think the reason is because I don't see that there's any middle ground. You've obviously thought about this. You're obviously very compassionate about your beliefs, and the arguments that you're hearing, obviously, you're not accepting, and the arguments you're giving out are obviously not being accepted. So I don't see there's much middle ground. That's why I don't think there's much progress that can be made.
Okay, well, fine. I just wish you'd say that about them. Why do you bother arguing with religious people then? Because to me, you just made this hugest cop-out. I can't even... This will be the magic cop-out moment in my YouTube history. I can't believe this. You will argue
with good luck with that then, Gary. Thanks for your contribution.
All right. Thank you very much,
maybe
Gary.
I didn't get enough time with this guy.
Well, Owen, if you want to comment, Gary, a moment, please. Owen wants to comment.
Sure. We were talking today about a project where in Russia they did this test where they were breeding foxes to try to find more domesticated foxes and just selecting for the more friendly of the foxes. And what they got is a genetic link to that, is that the more docile the foxes became, they also showed other traits that you get when you derive dogs from wolves. You get curly tails and strange color patterns and things like that. And I thought, well, why do we do experiments of this sort? Why don't we try ever to do an experiment wherein we just promote intelligence? Like get a whole bunch of raccoons together, and then let's breed them for intelligence, run them through a little intelligence test, and then see if we can actually promote intelligence of another species, significantly. And the reason that I would like to do something like this is because the pointlessness that he was talking about before, I see from the entirely different spectrum. I imagine all of these sunrises and sunsets for the millions of years that we've had vertebrates walking around looking at the sky and not appreciating the beauty of that scene. I mean, think about when you talk about the meaning of life, you think about how many millions of years, hundreds of millions of years, you've had beautiful colors and beautiful patterns and beautiful textures on all these animals, and there's nothing with the ability to appreciate, to sit back and say, wow, that looks absolutely fabulous.
I can pause you there because I don't think your argument is being persuading Gary at all. Gary, I'm going to give you the last word, and then I'm going to move on to the next caller. Your last word, Gary.
Well, fine enough, but yeah, that's all subjective bibble babble. We can make people happy. We can give people, through chemistry, through even electricity, we could give them glory moments. We could give them all this stoic, proud, I'm the greatest gladiator in the world. We could give everybody the illusion of being superheroes, of being supermen, all this stuff, and that's all that is, okay? You're just talking about gratifying, simplistic, biological needs, and you're sitting there and making it a stoic, Sisyphus, I'm pushing the magic boulder up the magic hill of purpose. And
okay,
no,
Gary,
the fact is,
okay,
there's no
we've got people stacked up now. Thank you very much for your call.